commentators, thank you for your love and support. A brave African woman attacked the West verbally. According to this woman, who is the president of Interparliamentary, that the West have to shut up and stop dictating to people and telling people what to do. Why are they always racist? According to the West, why did this woman visit Putin first without going to Ukraine? That Ukraine should have been the first place that she would go, and she was like, that the other places that she visited that were interest to the West and they never complained. Why is it that she decided to go to Putin and it has become a problem? Why are they always sitting down pointing fingers and telling us what to do? That do they still think that we are mentally slaved? We know what we are about. They should stop their hypocrisy and their discrimination. Anytime a black person does something that do not go down well with them, they have a problem with it. They have to always have their way. When you don't follow what they want, then you attack as a bad person. That what crime has she committed by deciding to visit Putin? After all, they are looking for peace. We are no longer the Africans they used to know. We are no longer mentally slaved as they think we are. This has been the approach. They think that till date, every other African is mentally slave because this has been the agenda. They took the chains off our hands and kept it in our minds, forgetting that we are waking up. They have to learn to accept our decisions and stop manipulating and controlling us as if we are kids. It is high time we, the Africans, start to talk to these people to their face and let them understand that we are a people of our own that have the right to decide. We know what is wrong and right. Enough. Because other people have allowed themselves to be controlled by these people, they always sit there and point fingers at any other person and say that every other person is the same. This is amazing and wonderful. So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.
A concern was raised by Iraq in respect of the report that I've just given you, and Iraq was questioning, why did I visit Russia in the context of the war in Ukraine and not Gaza? I would like to inform my colleague that you might note that in November last year, I visited Palestine and I visited Israel and I met the leaders. And that was my first visit after becoming president in October. So it's not like I have ignored what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Gaza, and what happened in Israel. So I treat all the conflicts the same way. And you might also want to note the conflicts that we are talking about in the Middle East, the war that we are talking about in Ukraine, they are not the only conflicts that IPU is looking at. We are concerned about what is happening in Yemen. We are concerned about what is happening in Syria. We are concerned about what is happening in Sudan. We are concerned about what is happening in West Africa. We are concerned about what is happening in DRC. Lithuania asked specific questions. Who mandated you to visit Russia? Why not Ukraine first? The letters were sent out, dear colleagues. The letters were sent very explicitly. They explained, and if you need copies of those letters because they are not secrets, you can always have copies. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Ukraine. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Russia. My visit was to begin with Ukraine. Ukraine responded the dates that we were ready to visit them. Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Speaker would be in New York for the NATO meeting. Would I have stopped them? No. It would be wise. In any case, I don't have such powers. Now, because the meeting of BRICS was taking place, would I stop going to Russia because Ukraine is not ready to receive me because of time? No. Why? Because IPU stands for dialogue. IPU is talking about parliamentary diplomacy. And it is in that context that I did all that I did. And I thought I would be given a little credit for all the efforts that I've done, not to be crucified for things that I have not. You're asking here who mandated me. Who mandated the former president who came from the 12 plus to visit Kiev, who mandated him? Please, I think we have to reach a point where I have explained myself several times to you 12 plus, to everybody else who cared to understand. If you have a feeling like I went to Russia without going to Ukraine first, I have told you several times, letters were sent out. I wouldn't turn out my visit to Russia because I'm unable to reach Ukraine. You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Israel, did you? You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Palestine, did you? You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit Sudan. You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit other places. I think, colleagues, let's have trust. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate, and I think you are dealing with me unjustifiably, which is not fair to anybody. The questions that you have been raising, I have responded them to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my objectivity in all this matter. And you must know, I would not have asked to meet Mr. Putin if it wasn't for Ukraine. My commitment to doing that, and this is not the first place I'm visiting. Why is it that is looking like I have met this person and therefore the president of IPU has all of a sudden become a monster? Please treat me with dignity the same way I am treating you with dignity. I will at all times advance parliamentary diplomacy. I will at all times give respect to the ideals of IPU, but I request you members to also accept I'm not God, I'm not an angel, I'm only human, I'm doing what is possible within my powers. The president of the task force has just informed you, and I have been repeating myself in this respect. I was requested by the task force to do what I did. What did I do wrong? I was supposed to sit back and tie my hands and say there's nothing we can do as IPU. That will not be doing justice to the women and children of Ukraine who are suffering. That wouldn't be fair to the mandate that you have given me. Give me a chance to lead this institution according to the ideals that we stand for. Not to crucify me just because I come from some country. Some of you maybe feel like we are still colonized in the mind. No. No, we are not. No, we are not. So please, let's respect each other. I'm doing the best that I can, and that is exactly what I'll do. That is my commitment to you. I will keep doing that. Thank you very much. Some issues have been raised here, very specifically wanting me to say, somebody said they want the full record. I did not record the meeting, so I don't have that record. Secondly, the resolutions were shared, they have been shared several times, and I also mentioned them. Kidnapped children that are in Russia, that is an important issue to IPU. We have been working together with the task force, and we will keep working together to make sure children are returned to Ukraine. You have talked about written requests. I have responded to every request that comes to me. The good thing is when they come to me, they go to the Secretary General as well. There is no secret about this thing. If anybody wants more information, we have a whole file of all the communications. On the other hand, I have been asked here, Denmark asked me why I visited Russia while I haven't visited Ukraine. I have already expressed what actually happened. I believe, dear colleagues, this explanation puts at rest this matter so that you let me lead the institution you entrusted me to.